Randy sent around the first order of business is minutes. Randy sent them around last week. Hopefully everybody has read them over and is now madly scrambling to find them on the same screen that we're looking at you on. So I'll ask if there are any, is there any conversation about the minutes, including corrections, alterations, punctuations, whatever? Hearing none, by acclaim of the board, we have approved the minutes.
Amen.
All right. Amen. All right. Vicki, can you give us the a director's report? And you don't need to necessarily go over the reopening because that will be its own agenda item later.
Okay. So I've still continue to meet on GoToMeeting with Rebecca Smith Aldrich. She does weekly meetings and updates on the effects of the legislation and the executive orders on the library. And it is really very helpful. At the library, we've got MEMRA group that met 3 times, the exec committee met 3 times, marketing once. ELIC had a COVID scam that met, and that 7 people attended. ELIC did a how to earn money in retirement, 9 people attended. The arts and culture with Victor Huaz had 25 people. That was a wonderful program, Julie. I've been to the
Woohoo!
Yeah. Columbia County Library Association, we've met at least, we've met 2 times, the 8th and the 19th. The DA meeting, that was yesterday. Online.
What is the DA meeting? What does that stand for?
Directors Association meeting with Mid-Hudson, run by Rebecca. Online learning stuff, the summer program with BOCES. I did one there, did a summer reading program, the restart guidance for libraries. Those are the 3 summer programs. So we still have the story crafters that are August 8th at 4 p.m. We still have them scheduled to do it outside. And we've been talking with Valacia about some other summer programs, but honestly, if I can work 1 or 2, and we'll try to do some of the books and things that Kim has been doing, but there really isn't much I can do there. And Kim worked with the ICC elementary librarian and some of those other people doing a funny reading of, what was the reading of, Kim?
The Tortoise and the Hare.
You look tired today.
Oh, it was a long day.
Yeah. So we're supposed to tack something on to the end of that, and I think Alana Moss is sending it all out to everyone. But I really want to thank you for doing that, and also
Is that on you? Is that on YouTube?
Not yet. The Red Riding Hood is.
Okay.
The other one will be as soon as I have time to do it, to work on it, to add that piece. And Kim's agreed to help. And Susan Chris is still on there. I think we might have spoke with it. Been working with Rick and the full executive committee on policies to get us up and going and safe. Everybody be safe, And let me see. The last thing that I didn't have in my notes that I sent you, Randy, was my aunt passed away, and I am going to go out and go to her funeral, and that'll be Tuesday next week. So I'll go in the morning, and I'll come back Wednesday morning sometime. I'll be gone.
Sorry to hear that, Vicki.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Vicki, we're sorry. We're so sorry.
I'm done.
Okay. Thanks, Vicki. Sorry, I've got the document up instead of the email on this. So the next order on the agenda is Finance Committee, which we haven't met. So I guess we'll just a quick treasurer's report, Christy.
Yeah, nothing too different to report this go round, outside of we have a final 990 with the CPAs,
Good.
which I signed this week and sent back to them. So they'll be submitting our 990 probably tomorrow, if I had to guess. It's due on Monday. So everything's pretty stable for the most part, you know, outside of the adjusted budget that we talked about last go round. So we're just going to have to continue to watch the incoming funds and the outgoing funds to make sure we're staying on track.
I submitted today 2 requests to Walmart's for grants. I asked them each for $5,000 and told them funds, they give you 50 characters, funds to replace funds lost by COVID-19. And last year, one of them gave us $500, but it's the easiest thing in the world to ask for. So I did them both. It probably took a half an hour to do the 2 of them because I had it set up from last year.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Maybe they'll send us some money.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I should follow up with you on that, Liz, at some point. Let me make a note to do that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I was going to talk to you before I did it, Rick, but then it was so easy. You filled in a couple of fields and hit submit. And I said, I'm just going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all good. I just have some ideas around that idea.
Okay. And I don't know if anybody ever went, last year I went to, what's the bank that went out of business? That got sold.
Kinderhook?
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 Yeah, last year I got money from them. So I can submit a request to Comenity. I've never done it, but I can look into that if you want me to.
Yeah, that's the follow-up call I want to have with you,
Okay,
Liz.
yeah.
All right. Terrific.
Really?
Thanks, Christy. Kim, you have the traveling dinner down here on the agenda. Is there anything you, oh no, I'm sorry, not you. Well, it's under fundraising committee, but Joan, we have a bullet point here for the traveling dinner, so I'm not sure how that ended up there, why.
Dottie and I have talked. We had a letter that was going to go out, obviously, before all this occurred. It was to garner some funds. So Dottie and I have spoken a number of times, and again, we spoke today and just said that there isn't any way that we feel that it's safe to go ahead with a traveling dinner for September. This is, it's just not tenable. You know, the emergency order from the governor goes through September 7th. So, you know, we're looking to see if, you know, possibly we can do something else a little bit later on. I know this is going to be difficult because we have Books and Blooms coming up again in May, and you know, we have all these other things, but let's think about this, put our heads together, see if there's something else that we feel that we could come up with. But that's Dottie's and my feeling, right, Dottie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so to the fundraising point, right, the fundraising events in particular,
Yeah.
where Julie just sent me something on this. Christy sent something terrific. I think, Kim, you have as well on the appeal letter that we want to get out right after Labor Day. So I think we need to reconvene on the event fundraising and think about what we're gonna do with it after we get the returns from the appeal letter. Now,
Yes.
that probably means that if we decide to do one, it'll be a short turnaround and it'll be in December in order to help this year's fiscal budget.
Mm-hmm.
It seems iffy to me that we'd even be able to pull one off in December, quite honestly.
Oh.
And are people really going to be ready to go back to up close and personal socializing?
Right.
Well, and we have an awful lot of
older people who attend the traveling dinner, sending them into other people's homes. There's just nothing pre-vaccine about that.
Oh,
That's
no, that's
wise.
what Dottie and I had already said.
I,
There's no
Yeah.
way we would, no,
yeah,
there's no
I,
way
no, I
we would do this.
completely agree with you.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about just the traveling dinner. I'm talking about any event. So, you know, it's probably possible we could do one with a limited number of tickets with a higher dollar amount. And that maybe within the right spot, the right place, we can do the right amount of social distancing for something like that. But I didn't even know what kind of appetite there would be for that before the
Yeah,
end of the calendar year.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yes,
I don't
Julie.
think so.
It just struck me, I have no idea if this would be a good idea or not, but lots of people nowadays are having little cocktail parties online through Zoom. Maybe we could have like 6 people at a time, you know, different Zoom sessions where people are drinking their own drinks, but sharing and talking with each other. In a
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did
this has been
a,
going on. I don't know. It's a little
Library.
hokey.
Big sip of wine.
But paying the library for the honor of arranging it.
It's a little hokey. Sorry, it's a little hokey.
Yeah.
oh,
On an old home,
Oh,
but it's
he's-
but it's an interesting idea to
I did
consider
a
and
Zoom
possibly
wine
build
tasting.
on.
They delivered
We don't need to shoot it
little
down right
cups of wine.
Wait, say again, Christy? Sorry.
I participated in a Zoom wine tasting, and the person that was facilitating it delivered all these little cups of wine and grapes and some chocolate and all cheese and little things that went with it. And we all did the wine tasting online together and sipped the wine, this particular wine number 1, and then eat your grape with that. And it was cute. It was really fun.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. That sounds like something that could be doable before the end of the calendar year if we decided we really needed to try to do another fundraiser, you know, so that we don't end up in the deep dark red for the fiscal year. So, and that's putting a lot of weight on the appeal letter, but I have a good feeling about it.
I have a good feeling about it, yeah.
So,
And let's just, as a general thing, when ideas get brought up, let's not just shoot them down. Yeah. Exactly. I agree. It's building on it, thinking about it, blue skying it, if there's, you know, other possibilities, rather than just saying that's no good and drop it.
Yeah, because it's part of brainstorming.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. A collaborative, creative process. Yes. Because
Kim,
these other ideas that came out of that, I think sound very
What if the
Yeah,
committee
no, I
meets to
think-
discuss
I
some
think
new
we should be
ideas that were talked
spitballing.
about?
I'm sorry, Randy?
ideas around, and you know, and the times are going to change. Just 5 months ago, we thought we were having a traveling dinner for certain in September and a wine tasting in May. You know, December is how many months away now? 6? Yeah, 6+. So, you know, the world changed very quickly on us, and we'll see what the rebound looks like, and we'll reassess in the fall. And, you know, and if we can't do something in person, let's try and figure out something online. If we can't do something inside, let's figure something outside, you know, if we need to do it in order to balance the books for the year. Or we just need to do it because everybody's gone stir crazy and having to call the police all the time. All right.
Hang on, Rick. So Kim, what if the fundraising committee meets and discusses these different ideas?
We certainly can.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that's kind of weird is my understanding of the situation was that Rick, you are fundraising and I am fundraisers. So when they exist, I'm the person they can go to and we can talk amongst ourselves.
Correct.
But I am terrible at coming up with these things. And
Okay.
not the right person.
Well, so you and Joan and the other people on the events committee just need to be the funnel for the rest of the board members to send ideas to.
Okay.
So, you know, Liz and I are going to be about grants. Anybody else who has thoughts like Christie's idea or wants to back something like that up, you got to get an email to Kim, and you know, they're not going to meet in person. They may not even need to meet in Zoom. You can just have these conversations over emails if somebody puts together a list of ideas that were sent to you. So, or you can have a Zoom session so we get our money's worth from the account we signed up for. All right.
I just also want to remind folks, there's still that beautiful quilt we need to raffle off.
Yes, but raffles
I know, not online, I know.
have to be in person. Yeah.
You got that through my head, girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dottie, you're up next with marketing committee, please. And Vicki, I have a question. Well, before she starts, I have to scroll to find Vicki again. Where is she? There she is. I got you. Is there any chance that you can share your screen with the board on this during this meeting? And if so, would you pull up Isaac's link to the WordPress website he's developed?
I definitely can share a screen. Whether I find that right away is another thing.
Okay, so Dottie, not to hijack your meeting, but you know, this is what the last meeting was about, and I thought this would be a useful tool for you.
Is that what you want me to do, Dottie? You want me to be looking to try to get into
Yeah,
that?
for the Isaac's list of tasks. So we brought Isaac in to meet with him and reviewed what he needs to continue to finish up the plan we had. Couple of things. He's going to work with Vicki in person on MailChimp, refining some of that, because that's been a change from the other email constant contact stuff. So he's going to meet with Vicki to fine tune that. He's also going to meet with Vicki over the website, because that's not really fully flushed out yet with his ideas and what she knows how to do. So some training and some support, you know, needs to happen in that context. Vicki and I developed a statement about volunteers, looking for volunteers, putting that on the website. Kim and Rick are going to talk to the program directors like Carol and Julie to develop an umbrella statement about those programs. So there's a lot of ongoing work still with what we originally planned to do with Isaac. And I don't think we're done with our list, our to-do list, or what he was going to help us with. And then we talked a little bit about how the whole business of the coronavirus has changed and what that means in terms of marketing. One thing that came up is Zoom is being used a lot. And Vicki has been setting up all of the meetings, that looking into somehow, you know, other people on the board and that run programs need to learn how to be host for Zoom and how that can be facilitated somehow, because at this point she's doing it all because we pay Zoom to have more than 40 minutes worth of meeting. So that needs to be addressed. And then I stumbled upon this gorgeous marketing plan on my computer that to this day, I know I didn't write it, and Rick can't figure out if he wrote it or he forged it.
I did figure it out.
Yeah. So anyhow, we're going to review that as a committee, because it has a lot of juicy stuff. So that's all I can think of. Kim, Rick, can you think of anything else?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay.
Just, and by the way, just to let you know, Julie got her stuff to Isaac.
Excellent. Excellent.
What? Say that again, please.
Julie got her statement to Kim to go to Isaac.
To Isaac.
Didn't I forward Carol's along as well?
No, you said you spoke to her, but I don't know
I
if
did.
Isaac
I
has
have
it.
it.
Yeah.
You
All
know
right.
what? I forgot to forward it along. I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Get
Let me
right
make
to
Let
it,
me
Kim.
make another note.
Okay.
Are these statements for the website
Yes.
Yeah.
describing our program?
One-liner.
The committees,
Better.
the concepts of the committees.
Yeah, it's umbrella statements, Randy, not specific programs.
Okay.
So, right, it's a one-sentence description of ELIC, for example. So it can serve as a header, in other words, that you click on, and then there's a drop-down menu of all the things that are coming up, and if you can then probably drop further back and see things that have already happened, sort of thing. So,
Nice.
one-liner. Okay.
Here, I do not Isaac's task in the computer, but I do have the website. Is that what you wanted, Rick? I think I was.
Yeah, if you can pull up the WordPress website. So the website link that Isaac sent us. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right, so is everybody seeing this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's awesome.
Ah,
There isn't anything going on.
That's nice.
yes.
Yeah,
Really good.
Oh, very
There-
nice.
Very polished.
Very nice.
yeah, and most importantly, quite honestly, is that it's scalable. So in other words, it will look the same on your cell phone, your iPad, and your big ass computer screen. And it won't lose its, integrity that way. When you look at the one we currently have, it doesn't really work well on a phone screen, and it's clunkier in a lot of ways. This is we're gonna have things grouped together differently, and it's gonna be a lot cleaner.
Mhm.
All right, that's
Nice.
great. Anybody? All right, there you go. Thank you,
Very nice.
Vicki. Appreciate that.
That was good, Vicki. I couldn't have done that.
You have to watch the YouTube tutorial on Zoom, Dottie.
Okay. Oh, I love YouTube. I'll look at that and the one with Kim in it.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Mark, tell me you got Hunziker coming. Buildings and grounds.
They're coming. They told me no problem by the end of the month.
All right. They're giving me agita. I need paperwork from them in time to get it through the system.
What paperwork do you need? The bill?
Yeah. And then you work with Christy to show that we paid the bill.
Well, I already have the proposal that I sent back to them that has obviously I'm not going to get a bill till the project's done.
That's what I'm saying. So they can't be paving on the last day of the month, Mark.
So
We need to have turned this in.
What's my deadline?
How many days are there in June?
It's been extended a year. It's been extended.
Yeah, we passed on that opportunity because I just want this thing off our plate. And there's no reason, we have a commitment to get it done.
We don't have to do anything. They have just extended it a year. It's on the governor's desk to be signed.
Oh, you learned that from MA and Mid-Hudson? Yep. All right, you know what? That's a third thing. I'm gonna confirm that with Cody. It's
Right.
Cody.
We're on their schedule to be done by the 30th, which is what I thought was true. I'll stay on them. I just spoke to them a few days ago.
Yeah, I just I needed to be able to turn the paperwork around and work with Christy on that. So, if they did it on the last day of the month, theoretically, we should be able to do that with a scan and a whatever, but
Yeah.
They'll be at my
Better-
house
better-
next week.
All
So
right,
what?
when we get closer to the end, I'll shake the tree harder if that's we
Uh,
need to, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
what they told me, we should be okay.
yeah.
All
And
right,
I
that's
think
good.
even with a year's extension, I would say do it now.
Okay, yeah.
Plus,
we're
if
in
we
the-
finish
yeah,
it, we get $450.
We're in the queue. We're gonna get her done.
Okay, all right.
They'll be at my house. Hunsinger will be at my house next week doing my driveway, so I will poke them a little bit
Put
too.
a good word in for it. You know, he said he might tag it with another job in the area.
All
It's
right.
less than a day, so that very well may be true. He might
Yeah,
be
he did
waiting for
Sam
that
and
day.
Nancy. He did Sam and Nancy last week or the week before. He did their driveway. They've been busy, Hunsinger.
Oh,
They've
he's
been
got
all
two
over
signs
the place.
up and down State Farm Road and 28A, you know. I'm constantly reminded of the fact, driving around, you know, between here and the pig farm. I keep passing a sign going, he hasn't done it yet, he hasn't done it yet.
Their prices were very sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did ours a couple of years ago. He's very good.
All righty. Let's see, now I gotta, all right, here we go. Working multiple screens here. Okay, anything else from buildings and ground, Mark?
Nope.
All righty. Julie,
Okay.
you had a very successful event. Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. So you're still seeing me, I hope. I'm going to read you some stuff from a document. Anyway, yes, we had a really successful event on Sunday with Victor Juhas. And as Vicki said, we had 25, but I realized it was 25 computers that signed up, but a few of them I know had at least 2 people watching. So I would estimate that the audience was bigger than 25, maybe 27 to 30 people or more. One of the things that was very exciting, which would not have happened if it weren't Zoom, was that we had attendees, obviously from North Chatham and the area, but also we had 2 from the Netherlands and 2 from Hawaii.
Wow.
And
Julie's stacking the deck.
that's right. And Judy Staber's daughter, or one of her friends, or no, one of Bonnie Rothenberg's friends was from Massachusetts.
Mhm.
So that was a hoot. And my granddaughter in the Netherlands absolutely loved it. And she sent me a comment afterwards, which I forwarded to Victor, and he was very pleased.
Mm.
So
Was that recorded, Julie?
yes, but I have a question about that with Vicki, because my understanding was that we would post it at least for a little while afterwards. Are we able to do that, Vicki, or not?
It's on there now. I got it done this evening.
Oh, okay. Okay,
All
yes.
right, so there's a link on our website currently?
Yeah.
Okay,
I haven't tried it out, but it should work.
So how long?
that may be something, yeah, once we confirm it works. That may be a MailChimp opportunity to let people know that that's available on our website.
Right, and the program did last 2 hours. It might be good to put a little description, Vicki, with the link, which I would be willing to write for you. Because he spent a lot of time in the first hour talking about the history and his inspirations in political satire. And so I think people need to be prepared for that, and, you know, just a sense of how it goes so that they could scroll ahead or behind or whatever. But his opening
Good.
was fabulous. You will love the opening because, well, you'll have to look. Anyway, toward the very end, there was a very animated discussion between him and our next artist, Emily Brooks, and her program will be really wonderful. And that was pretty exciting to see the 2 of them. You know, Victor was running around his studio and gathering drawings and showing us how he came up with the very first drawing that he showed us. And so we saw more about the artistic process. And that was very neat.
Cool.
Vicki, do you have a sense of how long you think we should leave it up on the website?
No. However,
You know, we can-
There's no reason to take, I mean, unless you're running out of space on your website, which theoretically,
not much going on.
yeah,
Right.
just leave it up forever.
okay, good. And
Tell
Sue,
Victor to send people there.
that's a good idea. That's a great idea. He
Yeah.
would probably really like that. I'll do that.
Yep. I
Susan,
don't know, and send it to let's send that link maybe to the poli-sci folks at the local colleges or whatever.
oh,
But Julie,
that's a great idea.
all right, so let's follow up on that, okay?
Yeah, definitely. And also, Susan Grist now has we have links for 2 YouTube stories that she's posted. And Vicki had asked me if we could share that with the Valatia Library, and I believe they've posted it too. So
Cool. Very
that's
cool.
very neat. Our next program is July 19th, Nature Unfolding. And because it's online, when it was going to be in person, Emily Brooks was going to do it by herself, but she collaborates on her interactive folding books with the designer, Matt Holbein. And so they'll be able to do it together, and we'll be able to learn about their collaboration. And the publicity for that should be ready for posting, I hope, Vicki, early next week.
Good.
We had a theater performance with Deidre Bollinger planned. And as we talked about it, it seemed impossible, to have people come to the library and see some theater. So I talked to the artists today. We're postponing that for another year, whenever we can do it. And Kim Sykes has agreed to do a program with her group called Girl Be Heard, young women in New York City, mostly African American,
Cool.
who write stories and perform them. And that's probably going to happen in August. That'll be a Zoom program as well.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yes, I think it's going to be really great.
This is really, really impressive.
Yeah, so in some ways it's opened up some new things, although we haven't been able to enjoy being at the library.
Do those young women need any places to stay?
No, it'll be long distance.
Oh, okay. That's
It'll
right.
be Zoom. It'll be Zoom. So it's still social distancing. But Kim will be speaking in the next few days, early next week, with her executive director, and then come back to me with ideas. And Vicki, if you want a break from web hosting, I think I mentioned before that the Greene County Council on the Arts is willing to host the DEC arts programs. There's something kind of nice about doing it through our library, but we don't have to.
There is something nice about it. I mean, the library putting it on. I mean, that's.
Exactly. It was great that people got to see you and meet you and, all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, unless there's really an overriding reason to change that, it just seems more natural.
Yeah.
It's our program for us to, host it, so.
And just so you all know.
I don't know if we should completely discount. Hi, this is Randy. I don't know if we should completely discount it, the idea of them doing that, because we've got a lot more Zoom programs going on, both with arts and culture and ELIC, and Vicki's time, has really been taken up by these. So we have to find creative ways to, allocate her time or figure out how we can juggle all this stuff. And I don't think that sounds like a bad idea at all, Julie.
Well, there's also the option of, with Zoom you can do this, of giving Julie a key so that she can be the host on the library's account.
Mm.
And I think, Julie, that's a very, teachable thing.
Sure.
There's probably even a YouTube on how to do it.
Right.
So, there's a bunch of us here and there's a bunch of people on your committee that we can also use as a resource so that we don't have to constantly be tapping Vicki for an hour or two at a time.
Right.
just comment. I mean, we made it through the last, 2 weeks. I mean, that was, 3 programs and they were back to back. So that was more difficult. There's not much scheduled now at all.
Right.
Yeah,
That's all, really.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right.
So the last thing I'll say about the committee is that I've gotten the word from the council that they'll be meeting with NISCA folks soon and rethinking what proposals should happen, what kinds of ways they should approach next year's arts grants. So I'll hear. And each week, the County Council on the Arts is having a session for DEC recipients. And last week, I intended to join the meeting, and it turned out I was the only one who attended. So I had a one-on-one session with Meg McCool, who's the new grants coordinator, and it was very useful.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that'll score you points heading into their rethinking of their grant
Right.
structuring. So, and of course, I've got to assume that they are like everybody else who are state funding re-granters, and the state uses programs like that at pretty much all of their departments. DEC, where Randy works, Council on the Arts, Department of State does it. They've got a Department of Ag does it. They have a bunch of re-granting programs, and they have councils like this for whatever the topic area is.
Right.
So they're all going to be thinking very hard about what they're going to do with reduced budgets.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right. Carol couldn't join us tonight, but she submitted a report. It's on the agenda, which you should all have in front of you. She's a little, and I'll just summarize it. She had 3 events that happened: how to use Zoom, avoid Medicaid scams, and how to earn money in retirement. She called it moderate attendance, 11, 9, and 7. And then she says the numbers are disappointing, but she attributes it to a number of issues, including Zoom itself, the technology, our publicity is hamstrung without the publication of the Columbia paper, and very little ending up going into the Register Star, because they've even reduced, I think, 2 pages as a cost-saving measure. So, and then good weather. She's blaming good weather. Obviously, she wanted to be out in her garden, but instead, she had to be in on a Zoom session. So she decided to blame the weather. All right.
By the way, the Columbia paper has resumed. I got my copy today.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
heard it was coming this week.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Carol's final note here is ELIC fall programs will be either Zoom or in person. And if it's in person, the Tri-Village Department is a good option because of the large amount of space that they have.
Mhm.
So that's, as we were talking about earlier about with other events, you got to figure out how you can do these things with enough social distancing. So, but that's this fall's problem. That's not today's problem. All right. So instead of giving you a strategic plan update, because Dottie, we haven't really met again to talk about all of that. So that we'll just leave that on hold for the time being.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because I felt we've got so much stuff going with the reopening and kind of getting our feet back on the ground, that I was thinking of picking that up in September.
Okay. But let's use this point in the agenda to talk about the reopening. And so the executive committee has been meeting and emailing and Google Docking together. And we decided to ask Kim to join us and to form the reopening committee. And so with Vicky putting in a lot of time and effort and giving us very good product to work with. we have drafts of policies that we are required to have and or that make a ton of sense to have, and that we will then share with our insurance company. So Vicki, can you just give us the names of the policies that we currently have in draft form that we're working on in Google Docs?
Well, the one that's not in Google Docs is New York Forward Safety Plan Template, and that's sort of like directing of everything. So that one is a PDF. They call it, I know they call it also the Business Reopening Safety Plan. Why, I don't know. Anyways, so then to go along with that, we have the Proactive Infection Plan, Porchside Pickup Plan, details, procedures related to COVID-19 containment policy, and health screening questionnaire before a person comes to work, essential visitors log, restroom maintenance log.
Restroom sterilization and cleaning log. We were going to change that title. I like having the word sterilization in there. It's what people are going to want.
It sounds complicated.
All right, and is that all of them, Vicki, or are there more? There are more.
Name 7 things. I think I did.
Okay. So the game plan is for this committee working over email and Google Docs is to finish up these policies and approve them as long as 3 of the 5 members of the committee are executive comm and they vote for it, it'll be approved. So the fix is kind of in, but we will immediately share them with the board, and everybody should have the understanding that, as Governor Cuomo reiterates every day, we're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna be ready to be nimble, and we're gonna be ready to change up if we need to change up. We're gonna need, and staying on top of things. So that's the game plan. So hopefully by early of next week, the board will have copies of those policies. They'll be posted on the website. They'll be sent to the Mid-Hudson and the state, I do believe, right, Vicki?
No, we just need to keep them.
Yep. Okay.
We have to have them, and they have to be filed. We're required to do that, and then to keep them on site.
There you go. We are going to send them to the insurance company as well. So, and maybe that precipitates a discussion, and maybe we have to come back and consider some changes depending on what the insurance company says. But again, we're going to have very good documents, but we're also going to be aware that we need to just keep taking the temperature of how it's working out and be ready to make some changes as needed. And that's where the board members can weigh into this group as well. If you're experiencing it personally by trying to get books from the library or whatever else, whatever other interactions you might have with the library, this is obviously an opportunity for us to, critique, not necessarily criticize, but critique and make positive suggestions. So everybody's invited to do that. So the game plan is we'll have these documents in place in order to, on June 17th, start offering curbside pickup for books from the north, for resources, books, DVDs, whatever, that are in our library, that we physically have possession of. On June 22nd, Mid-Hudson will start recirculating whatever that's called, delivery, you'll be able to order online. So, and then, we'll take it from there. I don't expect that, we're actually going to have patrons in the library before Labor Day.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Small library, we're a small building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on how things go, we either can or won't or whatever use Mark bought plastic sheeting. It's almost like architectural plastic sheeting with the frame with it that can go around the circulation desk and around the library director's desk if we decide to go that way. If we don't, it's going to be really useful when we get around to renovating the library. So we have that on hand if we decide we need to, you know, bubble our staff.
Good.
So, and that's, I'm hoping that's a backup plan, but let's see. All right. My screen keeps going dark. I keep losing the agenda. I got nothing on nominating and governance. And I got nothing on new business. So if anybody else has any new business, the floor is open to you.
Do have something. I sent around the executive order closing the library, and you know, we voted on it May 14th. It's still open, I guess. At this point, we're saying that we're going to stay closed until I think the governor lifts the emergency order. I just wanted us to sort of review and say whether it's fine as it stands or if we need to make any other changes to it. Until the state disaster emergency ends. Yes, okay. I think it's still valid. We voted on it at the last board meeting.
We need to amend it to reflect curbside pickup?
So here we go. Be it further resolved, the board agreed to keep the library closed, but allow programming to the extent possible, electronic formats, blah, 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 borrowing of electronic materials and electronic services. When the New York State government and the library system allow for the reopening of libraries in the capital region, and I lost my spot, in the capital regions, and guidance on opening procedures have been provided by the Mid-Hudson Library System, the library will prepare to resume normal operation. So the only amendment I would make to that is normal. I would remove the word normal. Just
Okay.
resume operations. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna give out books, we're gonna give out DVDs, we're gonna take them back in. But we're not gonna have people wandering around the library trying to pick a book off the shelf.
No, no, no.
Okay.
So,
Then, unless anyone else has any other edits, if not, then I'd like to offer a resolution to the board for consideration of approval. We're only changing one word, but I think we can still go through the process. Hey, Cindy.
Would it be helpful to say resume operations in stages or in whole or in part as recommended by the guidance or something to that effect?
yeah, we reference the New York State government and library system in that last resolution part of this.
But not a staging process.
Right.
We are actually.
Yeah, I mean, we could just,
We are to stages.
yeah, we're doing stages. So it could read, instead of reading, the library will prepare to resume normal operations. It could read, the library will resume operations as dictated by, in the stages, you know, given to us by the
Delineated.
state and the library system.
Or in stages as permitted by executive order in the state of New York or something.
Perfect.
I think it's more like the Mid-Hudson
No, they're more the
and
conduit.
stages as, okay.
As permitted.
Well, they're doing recommendations, but if Governor Cuomo puts out an executive order saying, stay in your homes, lock your doors and windows, it doesn't matter what the Mid-Hudson Library System recommends.
And it's also possible that we could reopen and have to scale back
Right,
by executive
Yep.
order.
right.
Yeah, right. If capital
all or
reason
nothing.
loses phase two, you know,
Yeah.
we'd have to respond to that. That's exactly right. So the other
What I
resolve,
have then,
yeah, you can make those changes, Randy, and then,
the library will resume operations in stages as permitted under the state executive order.
Yes.
sounds great to me.
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
So we have just one quick note here that I want everybody to be aware of, because we may have to come back and change this too. We'll have to see how it all goes. But so we have shall continue to compensate full and part-time staff as allowed by law and provided by the policy for quarantine leave and paid leave during emergency closure between March 17th and the date the state disaster emergency ends. I don't know where that's going to fit into, I don't know when Cuomo's going to do that and where it fits into the phases. I don't feel the need to change it right now because I'm pretty sure he said right now it's going through September 7th at the earliest.
Yes, it is September 7th.
Yeah, so we have time to work with that if we need to. But obviously, you know, we're going to continue to pay our staff, including, by the way, we're going to find another staff person so that we don't burn Vicky out.
Yeah.
So that's actually how I should lead the board meeting. I'll come back to it. So Randy, do you want to do a read back to us and we'll just take a quick vote?
Yeah, I'm only reading this last sentence,
Yep.
which is actually pretty long. All right. I won't read the full last sentence. And guidance on opening procedures have been provided by the Mid-Hudson Library System. The library will resume operations in stages as permitted under the state executive order.
And I just want to, and is feasible
Right.
for the library.
As is feasible. Yes.
Yeah.
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 God, I also request that it not say the state executive order because it is a series of executive orders. They're multiple.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. State executive orders.
Yeah.
Because I think each time he allows a district to go to the next phase, he issues an order around it.
Right.
Okay, so I'm entering this resolution before the board.
All right. The resolution is before the board. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed and those abstaining, speak up now or forever hold your peace. The motion passes. Thank you, Randy, for pointing that out.
Great, thank you, everybody. Good edits.
Wow. In 3 minutes, we'll have pulled this off in less than an hour. Any other business before this board, or can we close in under an hour?
Yeehaw.
Was there something else, Rick, that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, well, I've been calling some people I know and talking to some people I know to find somebody to work on this clerk position.
Okay.
All right, but also ELIC and the finance.
And I submitted a possible name. I submitted a name to you, that woman who does Scholastic books for the library board.
Oh, for the board, yes. Yeah, but I was thinking more of the clerk position
Okay.
that we're advertising for now. So, Vicki, would you send that? No. I'm gonna work to rewrite that job description, then we'll send it around to the entire board. And you can help us recruit a clerk, okay? Once you have this job description in your hand. So, all right,
We have put it out a few places.
yeah, and we can talk about more places we would want to do that.
Right.
Okay. This meeting is going once, going twice. Sold. Did we come in under an hour? Whoa, under an hour.
Bingo.
All right, everybody.
I all.
Thank you very
Everyone.
much.
Thank you.
It's amazing how productive we're being.